Hello, Flosstube friends, and welcome back. It is December 12th, and I actually made it less than a month before I did another update. I know, who am I, right? Well, anyway, I don't have a whole lot for you, mostly because I've been only working on like 1 or 2 projects. But I do have some updates in progress to show you. I have a little bit of discussion of plans. I have quite a bit of haul. And then we'll do reading, watching, listening to, and life updates. So let's jump right in. I have a dog right down here in front of the tripod, so if it suddenly just goes, blah, that's why. Anyway, yes, so what have I been working on? As I said, not a whole lot. Mostly because I've absolutely fallen in love with one of my projects, and I've been working on it all the time, even though I need to be working on other things. So first we'll talk about... if I can find it. I moved everything and now I can't find it. I have a kind of a finish. I have a single sock. So I finished the first of the 2 socks in this. This is a Malabrigo. I think it might be Arcoiris. I don't know. It's the mystery color. But I have the first sock done. And jumping into whips, I have just barely started the second one. So it's kind of all tangled right now, but you can see I've just barely started the cuff. So that's where we are on that one. Charlie, so help me, if you tangle that, I will get upset and yell and do absolutely nothing, because you will give me puppy dog eyes and I will melt. But it's just the truth. All right, the next other thing I've been working on is the thing I should be working on. I try to do, my family has a white elephant gift exchange every year at their Christmas, my extended family, and I try to throw a little something homemade in. So usually that's a Mill Hill ornament. I was gonna do a different one, but I ended up deciding on this one. I wanted to do the Christmas tree globe. And it's a new start, so there is no last time I showed it to you to speak of. And here's where it's at right now. So like I said, only about maybe 250, 300 stitches in on this one. I really need to work on it because, well, Christmas is coming and it needs to be done. And then at some point I need to work on my Christmas ornament for the year too, but that doesn't need to be done by Christmas. If that's done later, then that's fine. I don't care. But the reason that I have been not working on anything else is because I absolutely love this little project that I'm working on. And of course I didn't bring the model photo in here, so I'll have to stick it up here. But it is the Frosty the Vampire by Stitchy Prose. And I am working this on 16 count nothing from Mystic Fabrics. And I'm fairly sure that I did not have this started the last time I spoke to you. If I did, it was barely started, and I'll throw a picture up here, but I'm fairly certain that I didn't have it started. And I have done about 2,500 stitches on this one. I am over halfway done, and here's where it's at right now. And he is so cute. I just love him. I'll give you a closer look. A couple stitches that I've never done before is smearing across an Algerian eyelet. And they're very easy, and I've learned how to do them. So yeah, there he is. Future plans. I want to finish this one. Obviously, I'm well over halfway done. I think it'll go pretty fast from here. I have one other Christmas start I wanted to do, but the reason I haven't started it yet is because the fabric is over here. What this fabric is it is a piece of fabric that I was doing a temperature stitch on and decided I didn't want to do the temperature stitch anymore. And I accidentally put a hole in the center of the fabric with the seam ripper while I was trying to frog it. So I am using it for a couple small finishes since obviously the dead center of the fabric is ruined. So this one and then another one that I'm gonna work on the same fabric. And those will be my Christmas for the year. Also, I want to do one of my Mill Hill Christmas ornaments. So, that's pretty much what I'm planning on doing. And if that's all you're here for, I got you out of here in under 6 minutes. So have a great rest of your day. I probably won't get in another floss tube before Christmas unless I finish frosting over there. So if I don't, again, I hope that whatever holiday you celebrate, it is a happy one, and we'll see you later. If you want to stick around, I have quite a bit of haul, and then we'll do our regular chat session. But first off, haul. I ordered, I mentioned that this is done on 16 count nothing. I really love this nothing from Mystic Fabrics, and so I always like to have a piece in my stash. So I ordered another piece of nothing from Mystic Fabrics. The reason that I chose to order it now is because in my last floss tube I talked about working on the Haunted Library and showed you the 2 companion pieces that I had for that. So I ordered a piece of Brain Fog from Mystic Fabrics, which is the fabric that the Haunted Library is done on, so that this piece will be big enough to do the 2 companion stitches, and then they can all be on the same fabric and framed and hung next to each other. While I was ordering from Mystic Fabrics, I had a Mill Hill kit that I wanted that I had forgotten to put in my last 1, 2, 3 stitch order. And now I think it's not here anymore. 1 minute, I gotta find it. It's the problem when you have dogs and they get crazy and they knock stuff over. So yeah, I ordered a Mill Hill kit that I had missed out on, that I've been wanting for a while, and that was UFO, complete with glow-in-the-dark beads. So that will be worked on at some point. I have a package that just arrived today, so you'll get to open it with me. It is from Forbidden Fiber Company. I think this is the Night Court cross-stitch mystery kit. Yes, it is. It's sad when you have enough pre-orders that you don't know which one it is. So here's the project bag. The zipper pull, you can see that. I've got all the colors. I'm pretty excited about this one. I love the variegations in that blue. Fabric is called Night Sky. I got the 16 count Ada. And here is the color. That's pretty true. Needle minder. And the pattern. Night Triumphant and the Stars Eternal. So that is the new Night Court kit from Forbidden Fiber. I think I have one more thing coming from them, and it's yarn, so I was pretty sure that's what that was, because that didn't look big enough to be the amount of yarn that I ordered. Because I have a problem. Okay, and then the last thing I have is a rather big bag of Mill Hill kits. I don't know if I've seen it starting to circulate, but Vitchell, the company that owns Mill Hill and does the perforated paper, has come out with an announcement that they are switching from perforated paper to perforated PVC. I'm not particularly jacked about that change. I do a lot of trimming on my ornaments when I get done, and I wish I had thought to take a picture of my last one so I could show you what I mean. But I take little bits and I come in closer and closer and closer to the stitching because I'm always terrified I'm going to cut my stitching when I'm trimming a Mill Hill ornament. And I've never really been too fussed about if I miss a piece or two, because if the dogs lick it up off the floor or whatever, it's paper. It's perforated paper. Well, now it's going to be plastic. So yeah, I'm not sure how many more Mill Hill kits I'm going to be buying. There were a couple in this batch that I wanted and I wasn't able to get. And when I asked for a restock notification, and 123 Stitch on the restock, it says that they are either paper or PVC, which is understandable because they don't want to go through and change all of their listings as they switch. But I want to know that what I'm ordering is on paper until I absolutely can't order on paper anymore, and then I'm going to have to really think about if I'm going to do Mill Hill kits anymore. But so in the meantime, I ordered a bunch of kits. Though pretty much most of the ones that I wanted, so that I could get them in the paper before they went away. So I got the last of the Celtic Santas, Ireland Santa. And I will apologize in advance for the glare, but I am not opening every single one of these packages to take out the picture. This is Tombstone. I see you looking at that, Charlie. Don't even think about it. Batty. Winter Cruise. Witch's Cauldron. Lizzie. And if you hadn't met me before, you are starting to get a theme of what I stitch on. Christmas Island Santa. Tahiti Santa. And Jamaica Santa. Barbados Santa. Be Scary. Yes, eat, drink, and be scary. Haunted Lighthouse. And Highland Cow. So, those are all the Mill Hill kits I got. Probably, like I said, won't buy a lot more unless it's in person at one of my LNSs so that I can see whether or not it's paper or PVC. yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays out because I saw a lot of backlash online when that was announced. So, I mean, we'll see. I've no doubt that it's a good product, but I'm trying to do less plastic, not more, and especially, like I said, with the little slivers of edges from the ornaments as I cut them to size, and 2 dogs that vacuum up my floors for me whether I want them to or not. I just really don't know that I feel comfortable having the new PVC around. So that is it. And that's all for my haul. So that is all the Stitchy related stuff. So if that's, again, all you're here for, hope you have a wonderful holiday and we'll see you next time. Otherwise, stick around. I'm going to talk some books. I'm going to talk some life updates. First, let's jump right into books. Since it's only been 3 weeks since my what? There's nothing going on. Okay, they have now let themselves into the other room. She really wanted Maka to come in here, and she wasn't going to stop barking until Maka came in. Okay, where was I? Since it's only been 3 weeks, I only have 4 books finished, and the only reason I have 4 books finished is because 2 of them are like this. So we'll jump right in. The first book, and these aren't in the order I finished them, it's in the order that they're stacked here, is The Service Berry, Abundance and Reciprocity in the Natural World by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And this is basically just, it's a long essay, and it is a kind of a reflection on a gift economy versus a consumption economy, a capitalist economy. It's interesting. I feel like it's a little idealistic. Okay, it's a lot idealistic. And I'm kind of surprised at some of the things that she says in this. Like, one of the things she says is talking about how plants share their fruits freely with birds. And I mean, she's an ecologist and she knows that there is no such thing as, it's not sharing freely. It's the bird eats the berries, the bird poops the seeds out further down the road. And she does go back and say that, but it's like she makes it seem like nature is altruistic instead of synergistic, and I don't know. I don't know how I felt about it. So it was kind of about a 3 for me. I am more of a pessimist than an idealist, so that probably shouldn't be very surprising. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, Murder and Mayhem in Indiana by Kevin McQueen. This was gifted to me a few years ago for Christmas when I still lived in Indiana. It's little, so it got set somewhere and I didn't find it again for a long while. And I mean, it's what it is. It's one of those little short books that just details a number of interesting old crimes. Like, I think the most recent one would have been like in the 40s or the 50s, that occurred in Indiana. Some unsolved, some solved, all weird, hence the mayhem part. So, again, it was about a 3. Nothing super special or interesting. The last 2 were not that way. The first one is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. This is the second book in the Crowns of Neaxia series. It is the end of the first trilogy, the Nightborn duet, or not trilogy, it's duology, the Nightborn duet. So the next 2 books are another duology, and there are intervening novellas that go in between. So this was finishing up what was started in The Serpent and the Wings of Night. This is a romantasy. It's vampires. It's gods and goddesses. Games and trials. Well, the first book was Games and Trials. This book is the battle for Battle for the Kingdom. So I enjoyed it. It's not a 5-star best read ever. I would say I gave it about a 3.5 or a 4. Yeah, I liked it. And then the last book that I read, and this was the last book I read that I just finished a couple days ago. This was Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. This, I feel like I should have loved this book. I feel like this should have been a 5-star. It wasn't really for me. And I think probably it has to do with the fact that it's sad. It's a lot about loss and isolation, and I'm probably not in a good place to be reading that right now when I am pretty much just home all the time by myself because I don't have a job. But this book is about a family, and they are kind of the caretakers on this island down off the coast of Australia, like almost all the way to Antarctica. And this island is used as a seed repository for seeds in case there's ever an extinction level event, that we have seeds in storage that can be plants can be repopulated. And a woman washes up on shore on this remote island that nobody should be on, and everybody's got secrets. So yeah, it was a really good book. I just don't think I was in the proper headspace to enjoy it. So I put it at a 4. It probably would have been a 4.5 or a 5 if I was in the right headspace to read it. So, good book. And it's gonna fall down the side of the couch. So I'm gonna have to dig that out after I get done here. Anything else? I also had one very fun thing that I got to do this last few weeks. I got to go to Midland, Michigan, to see Six. I've seen it before. I really like it. So it was fun to see it again. But what was most fun about it was I got to meet Kelly, Don't Run with Scissors, who also lives in Michigan, but lives further south, and it's nice. It's about halfway for each of us. So we met, and the funniest thing, we sat down and I pull out my stitching and she goes, "Oh good, I'm glad you brought yours too." So we sat before the show started and got our stitching done. We kind of stole that from Jessie, Magical Anime Stitcher. But we had a great time, and I don't think we realized exactly how close to each other we lived, and so hopefully we'll get to do some more fun stuff like that, meet halfway and hang out some more. But it was a great time. I haven't watched anything, but the new Knives Out movie came out on Netflix today, so I'm going to be watching tonight. I got 2 advent calendars this year. I got a Godiva chocolate and an Adagio tea. So I will probably make my tea for the day, which is a Chinese oolong, and watch Knives Out tonight while I stitch on Frosty. So that's about it. Life update. It's not a good time to be looking for a job. And I think a lot of the places that I'm applying are looking at my resume, and they're wondering why I'm applying for an entry-level, like, XYZ, simple, not minimum wage, but not very profitable job, and assuming that, you know, I'm just looking for something and I will leave as soon as I find something better. And they may not be wrong, although I have decided that I am much more interested in having a job that doesn't cause me stress than I am at having a job that makes me a lot of money. So, you know, I could completely be happy doing something simpler. I took a bookkeeping course, online bookkeeping course. I am going to restart my Bachelor of Science in Accounting that I was working on and stopped for a while. And I'm just gonna keep trucking. But that's probably the last huge haul you'll see from me. There may be a couple one-off things. And I do have a few things on pre-order that will probably come in between now and whenever, but that's probably the last major haul you're gonna see from me until I get an income coming back in. I'm okay. I got, because of the situation with school and the basically like a bait and switch, I got most of my tuition refunded. So I am fine financially because I have that money. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to curb my spending. Other than that, the dogs, I think the last time I talked to you, Maka was sick. She's still a little sick. After she'd had it for a whole month, Charlie got it. So now they're both sick, but they're getting better. Aren't you, Moo? Yeah, you're getting better. They're improving every day. Charlie is still on her course of steroids, but as I'm weaning her off of it, she's not getting the resurgence of cough that Maka did, because the first day she started coughing, I had her in at the vet because I knew what it was, instead of where Maka went for a little while before I realized, oh hey, this is not something that's going away. Why are you standing down there? Nobody can see you down there, huh? You know they watch me for dog content. Why don't you come up here, Max? Come on up here so people can see you. Well, they can see the back of your head. So here she is. As you can see, she's fine, not coughing too terribly much. There you go. That's right. Turn your head so everybody can see you. So this is what I've been doing with my life, is cuddling dogs. And I'm not mad about it. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. We're short and sweet. So again, I've said it a couple of times, not sure when my next video will be, but if it is not until after the holidays, I hope that you and yours have a wonderful, safe, and happy holiday season. Okay, yeah, I thank you. And we definitely will. And in the meantime, until I see you again, stay safe, stay healthy. See you next time. Bye.